Okay, I believe we are live on YouTube, which is good. All right, so let's get started. Let me make sure I am recording. So, good evening. This is Lorelia. I know yesterday I tried to go live on YouTube, but unbeknownst to, hey, technology, I was unable to do that. So tonight, I am coming to you with a webinar series. Want to talk about the advantages of business funding and asset-based lending. And why now, with everybody talking about doom and gloom, the recession, are we in a recession? Understand this. My goal to you, I got feedback. Let me just give me 1 second. Want to talk about the advantages of business funding and asset-based. Okay. Since I was streaming on YouTube too. Okay. So I am back. So as I was saying on this channel, my promise to you is to not buy into the doom and gloom that is going on right now in the market. A lot of people are in hysteria. A lot of people have uncertainty, and a lot of people don't know what to do. But understand, and this is what I talked about last night, and I know that video was very choppy. This is the time now to play chess. For the past couple of years, real estate was booming. Money was cheap. Money was easy to get. And even now with everything going on, I know interest rates have went up. And that has affected all markets, credit markets, funding markets, lending markets. But what that also means is that individuals who are playing chess, meaning that they're not looking to get rich overnight. They're doing this as a long-term play. They are looking to put their ducks in order because right now the wave is going up. And when that wave crashes down, believe you me, those who play chess are going to be able to recognize opportunities. And that's why now more than ever, understand the advantages of asset-based lending. I've said in other videos before, if you're not familiar with it, asset-based lending allows you as a real estate investor to acquire properties that are very creative in terms of it is not like buying a primary home, which you are under the guidelines of FHA, 203K loans, USDA loans, or VA loans. Asset-based lending allows you as the investor to get very creative with lending. That's where you can do, you can get into a property leveraging business funding. Why? Because with asset-based lending, it is based on the asset. It is based on the property. What if you are doing Airbnbs, if you are doing commercial, if you are doing multifamilies, it's based on the property and the revenue that is coming from the property. Hence the DSCR. That is a terminology used to be able to calculate the debt on the property. And if the debt on the property is less than the income that is coming in, that is what the lender is measuring it with. And so it's not like with a primary mortgage where you have to be concerned about DTI, debt income ratio, because a person may say, well, really, a lot of times with unsecured funding, the thing that a person may need, may be concerned about, and I'm looking down on my phone because I can't see what's going on with YouTube. So because like I said, StreamYard didn't didn't do so well with me last night. So with that being said, DTI doesn't matter. DTI doesn't matter when it comes to asset-based lending. If you don't know what DTI is, debt to income ratio. So that is when you hear people saying, the lender is concerned about how much debt I have, my credit card bills, my student loan bills. I don't have enough income to be able to cover the mortgage payment. That is something that is widely looked at when it comes to getting a primary home using financing, as I mentioned, very traditional that most people are familiar with, which is FHA, VA loans, USDA loans, 203Ks, like I said. With asset-based lending, it allows you as the investor to literally make sure that you did the right due diligence to show the lender that this is a property that can cash flow. And that is what lenders are looking at. So credit sensitive issues are not a problem. Personal income, not a problem. Main thing that lenders are looking at is the asset in that that you are looking to get them to be able to finance. Now, one may say, well, Maria, where does business funding come in? Well, this is where asset-based lending gets sticky, because person may say, well, this sounds too good to be true. You mean to tell me no tax returns? I'm a business owner. My paperwork is not that great. So Lorelia, how can we make this happen? How can I still be able to acquire real estate? Because my business credit guru, said that, this, that, and the other. And I'm going to bet you your business credit guru doesn't have relationships. What your business credit guru has is affiliate link that they give you, and you go to a particular lender, and then there's no type of personal touch, there's no type of personal care that is taken into account to really look at the whole picture. So what happens is individuals are unable to really map out to an asset-based lender the possibilities on how they can get into the property. So back to what I'm saying, well, Maria, it sounds too good to be true. You're telling me no tax returns, you're telling me no bank statements. How is this so? And this is where it gets interesting. Well, many asset-based lenders will only lend up to 85% LTV or LTC, or 80%. So I'm going to do easy numbers. Look at $100,000 property. Now, of course, in my market, things are much higher than that. But I'm just going to do easy numbers for calculations for tonight. $100,000, and you have to come up with $85,000 is what the lender is going to put up. You are responsible for the other 15. One may say, well, really, I don't have 15. That's where business funding comes in. Let's go a little higher. We're going to do numbers that are close in my market. So let's say I'm looking at something. This is on the low end for $350,000, and the lender's only doing 85%. And so you as the investor have to come up with your share. $45,000. So I believe I took 350K. Let me make sure. 350K times 85%, 297. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking 350K and I am timing it by 85%. And I don't know why I keep getting that's what's not right. I know why. Let me clear out my calculator. Now, so I took 300K and 85% is 255. So that's how much the lender would be looking to finance the property for. You would have to come up with 45K. This is where business funding comes in. Because one may say, well, Lorelia, I don't have $45,000 sitting around. Now, some people do. Don't get me wrong. There are people who do. But for the person who doesn't want to use their liquid cash, because once again, we're in a contraction. People are fearful. People are scared. Leveraging someone else's money is the win. You would be leveraging your business funding. And that, my friend, is the good combination of the power of business funding or business credit and asset-based lending. And these are the plays that individuals are going to be doing in the next 18 to 24 months. Because right now, everyone is saying, economists, we're in a contraction. So people are fearful. Real estate prices are still holding up. But like I said, those who are in position are going to be able to take advantage. Now, let's change the direction of the conversation. Now, one thing that I touched on last night, and I talked about being able to identify what type of asset-based lender you want to look for. Because once again, your business credit guru may tell you, hey, I have a lender that you can work with to do real estate investor type deals. And I always say that many times, these individuals who are out here saying they can help you, they are really affiliates. So pretty much they've signed up on a website, they have a link that they can give you, and then you go ahead and sign up, and prayerfully you may get something. Well, that is totally different when someone like myself has a direct relationship with a lender. And get this, because your guru is probably going to tell you they have a direct relationship. Understanding how the funds are in-house. What does that mean? There are asset-based lenders whose money is backed by hedge funds, private equity firms, hedge fund firms. And we all know that hedge funds and private equity firms, their money is controlled by Wall Street. So any type of hiccup that happens on Wall Street, a lot of times is going to affect the money that is going to be able to be financed out to you as the investor. Let me give you a real life situation. So a lender expressed to me and shared with me, I shared this story last night, that a broker came to him, said that he had an investor who had a deal on the table. Unfortunately, the lender that this particular broker was working with was the lender froze the funds. They froze it. So pretty much at the last hour, the day before, when the lender thought they were going to close on the deal, money got frozen. So last night I was explaining, you as the real estate investor, or you as a consumer who soon want to be a real estate investor, need to understand the difference in frozen funds and liquid funds. With things that are going on in the market, many lenders have contracted. They have froze deals. So there are individuals who may have had deals on the table that were totally snatched when interest rates, did a topsy-turvy 2 weeks ago. Well, you need to understand, or are the relationships that you have with lenders who have direct funds. What does that mean? That's money in house, meaning it's not backed by private equity. And don't get me wrong, nothing wrong with private equity, funds. But it's good to know when a lender can tell you that their money is in house. And one may say, well, Loretta, how is that possible? Well, I'm going to be honest with you. There are groups of rich people that just get together and they just pool their money together and they lend out. And they are not connected to a hedge fund, and it's not connected to Wall Street. It's pretty much connected to the deal. But that's a conversation for another day, because that really goes into, how wealthy people are able to, be able to lend out money at a particular interest rate. And is money that is growing on the money. So that, once again, I just want to paint that picture, because I don't think many people understand that. And that's why I tell people all asset-based relationships are not the same. You will have people out there in the marketplace who will have you to think that all asset-based relationships are the same. And so people will have you to think, oh, okay, well, I know somebody who can do that. And I tell people, this conversation that I'm having is not for everyone. And I don't mean in terms of, the advantages of leveraging business funding to get into asset-based funding, financing for real estate. This is for the person who is looking for something beyond just, I need to find a lender. Because I tell people, if you are just looking for a lender when it comes to asset-based funding, I'm not the person you need to talk to. You can pretty much go online, do a Google search, and there are plenty. There's probably a lot in your market. There's probably some that are, of course, a lot of them are, they lend all over the country. So that's just a matter of a Google search. You can do a Google search to find a lender who will lend to you. Same goes with business credit, business funding. I tell people, if you're just looking for somebody to help you get some money, you can get some. You can get anybody. I'm not here to speak on the reputation of other people out there in the marketplace, but hey, it's not hard. Go right on. Do a Google search and find someone. Now, this is what I always say, that most of the people that I talk to that have used somebody, most of the time they're only able to get about 30,000 at tops, 30 to 35,000. I've yet to see anyone get beyond six figures, and it be legal. We're not talking about individuals who've gotten that much and they had to fudge some stuff, because that's a whole nother conversation. You got people who will tell you that in order to get a certain dollar amount when it comes to funding, you got to do some lying. You got to say one thing to the lender in order to get another. So, but once again, it's a whole nother conversation. So I say all that to say, I pride myself on being able, because many people are wondering, how am I able to get the success stories that I have been able to get, that you see? There's no smoke and mirrors. These are real people with real results. It's because it's based on a framework that I have created. And that framework is based on three things. It's based on a process that's put in place, and that's then taken into a strategy, that's then taken into an execution. Though that's the formula that I have, the framework that I have created to help my clients get results. Because this is what I've noticed. All lenders aren't the same. I know that. All lenders are not the same. All funding sources are not the same. And if you don't understand those things, you can't be able to leverage a business funding source that will create for you a six-figure qualified funding entity that you can now use to leverage to get into an asset-based investment deal where the deal itself, the real estate deal itself, is the focal point of you getting the money. Now, I do want to put this disclaimer out there. Do not, and I know people will go out there and do it, but if you are that person who is looking to make major real estate moves when it comes to asset-based lending, because I know when I tell people no tax returns, no bank statements, their eyes get big. And people thinking that they're going to get into a real estate property with nothing. And I always tell them 100% financing strictly on the lender is not for someone who has did deals. So I know you may be floored away. I know you're saying, well, no, my business credit guru or my real estate guru is doing deals with 100% financing. And this is my answer to this. It's either one or two things. One, they have a relationship with the lender that they have proven themselves and they have results to show it, and the lender has made money with them. And I'm not even going to say on them, made money with them because it was a win-win. The real estate investor made money, the lender made money, and this is not their first time at the rodeo. But if you have never did deals, don't have no track record, and you are looking to get into an asset-based finance real estate deal with zero down, 100% financing, I'll sell you the Brooklyn Bridge, while we get you the funding. And of course, yes, I am being sarcastic because it doesn't exist. And what happens is that is why many people are going to lose out. They are going to lose out on the upcoming opportunities because they're playing checkers, not chess. And there's a whole nother video that I'm going to talk about that that's going to explain to you why many of the scammy business credit or outdated, strategies that people trying to use will not work. They're not going to work no more. And that is because what a lot of people don't want to admit to is that many of business credit decisions, especially when you don't have a track record, can't show income or you can't show that your business is sustainable to get a loan on its own. Personal credit is taken into account. And you may not even know that. So you have that business, American Express. And so a person's like, well, I just started my business. I just have an LLC. How was I able to get, a business, American Express? Well, you got it because it was based on your personal credit. It wasn't because American Express saw that you had an LLC. But that's a whole nother conversation because that is what people are sold. They think the lender made a decision because they had an LLC. No, the lender made a decision based on your personal credit. And whether you gave them the Social Security number or not, with AI, there are still ways for them to be able to know what your credit score is. So I am streaming also on Zoom. And so if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. And I will answer any questions because I do see that I do have some people here on Zoom as well as I stream onto YouTube as well. If you have any questions. If you have any questions. So my main point tonight is to really bring home to you that opportunities do exist. They do exist. And understand, even with everything going on, lenders are still lending. You need to understand how it all works. You need to really be a student and take action with the advantages of how asset-based lending works, because there are going to be a lot of opportunities that are coming up the pipeline. And to be able to acquire an asset that can cash flow, because I've always told people the advantages of using business funding along with asset-based lending is that it is a no-brainer as long as your numbers work, as long as you're not in negative cash flow. Because it's just like I tell my clients, people lie, men lie, women lie, the lenders lie, consultants lie, coaches lie, but the numbers do not lie. And that is what you need to understand. And going back to what I said, the individuals who are going to play chess, when the real estate market crashed in 2008, opportunities came down the pipeline in around 2010 and 2011. I don't care what market you're in or what market you're from, you are going to remember you probably saw, whether you know this or not, the price of properties at a certain price. If you look at the price of properties of what they are now, or even last year, 2021, or we can even go even into COVID in 2020, the prices went up. It's the same thing going to happen now. This is the same ball game. Like I tell people, recessions have always occurred. There's always different market cycles. You don't have to be an economist to know this. And that's why I tell people, I already know how this is going to play out. Now, of course, everybody will say, well, this one is different. The gas prices are high, the food costs more, inflation is out of the roof. And I'm like, well, let's look at history. The year I was born, I'm telling my age, in 1973, we had an oil embargo. I don't know if you remember, the history books telling you that you literally only could get gas on a certain day a week. So even though the price of gas was lower in 1973, but there was an oil embargo going on, and individuals can only get gas on certain days. So there's always been a different variation of what's been going on, in different market cycles. Let's go into the early 80s. We were in another recession. Interest rates were in double digits, but people were still buying homes. Interest rates were literally, I came across an old newspaper clipping of a real estate company, a mortgage company, advertising rates. Guess what the rates were? 14.25%. This was in 1980. So the point that I'm making is that there is always going to be an economic class who's not going to take advantage of nothing. They're going to be totally crushed. And this is a conversation that most people don't have, because I get it. Most people are selling you all on fear. No one's selling people on get your mind right, understand the plays that are being made, so you don't have to be that class that gets crushed and swallowed. Be the class of people who are going to take advantage of the opportunities. Because understand, wealthy, millionaire real estate investors are lining up their pockets. They're lining up their money. That's why the lender that I, gave the example of is saying, our funds are liquid. Our funds aren't frozen. We're lending. We will continue to lend. Our money is in-house. See, these are the relationships that you need to have. You need to know that they exist. Other than that, you're going to follow your guru, who's probably going to send you to a lender where funds are frozen. You got a deal on the table, and it's like, okay, interest rates did a flip this week. Everything contracted. Nothing's moving. This is the time now to play chess. And so pretty much what I'm going to be doing this summer is really only working with a small group and a small number of investors who would like to take advantage of understanding how asset-based lending works, but not just on a theoretical, from a theoretical place, but also from an execution place. Let's put together a strategy for you to leverage the business funding, the business credit, so you can get into a deal. And even if you like, well, Lori, I want to kind of hold off, want to kind of see what the market is doing, at least get access to the relationship. So you know, okay, when I'm ready, I'll be ready to pull the trigger. I want to put my ducks in order. I'm only working with a select group of individuals, real estate investors. Now, let me tell you, I'm not looking to work with everyone. So this is who I'm not looking to work with. If you're that person who just, I'm just looking for an asset-based lender, what's the interest rates? Then I can tell you right now, it's not for you, because that already tells me that you don't even know nothing about the industry. I did a video on that. Asset-based lenders don't give pre-approval letters. They don't do no pre-approvals. I had to tell a girl that the other day. That just tells you, you're an infant when it comes to this industry, because they don't do pre-approvals. That's for, no shade, but that's for individuals who are looking for an FHA mortgage. The lender does all the pre-qualifications to see if you pre-qualify, and then they give you a pre-approval, and that gives you to go to now work with the realtor for you to go get a property. That ain't how the asset-based lending world works. Asset-based lending world, you get a term sheet from a lender. Now, one may say, well, Lori, how do I even get a term sheet? Well, the term sheet is based on the property. So the lender is going to do all their due diligence based on the property that you're looking to move forward with. And they're going to map out the terms. They're going to tell you the interest rates, if it's origination fee or what have you. And understand, everything is negotiable. But with that being said, if you're that person who's saying, hey, I got a property that I just put under contract, and Lori, I'm looking to work with you if you can help me, I'm not your person. I'm not your person. Because individuals I work with, they want more than just, I just need, a lender to that can just, take a look at my deal. Like I told you, that's already on the internet. Do a Google search, find one, submit a deal, see if they'll lend on it. But if you're looking for something a little more, meaning that you are a person who have did deals, or you're looking to do deals and you have something going for you, whether it's a business generating money or you have a job generating money, let's talk. Let's see if you qualify to be in that small group of individuals that I'm looking to work with this summer. Now, this is not for the person who's like, I need some business credit or some business funding to pay off this other credit on my personal credit, and I don't have no money, and I'm trying to do real estate and I ain't got nothing, and I'm looking to be a millionaire tomorrow. It's not for you. It's not for you. Good luck. There's somebody else on YouTube who will sell you this dream. But if you truly looking to do some, do some major things these next couple of months, because like I said, that wave is going up and eventually it's going to crash. And everybody is selling you on fear And understand this, everyone who's talking about business credit and business funding and they got a way to help you get some funding, watch them fade out. They're going to fade out in the sunset. Because what they're going to notice is that many of the scammy in the tactical ways that they're telling people to get funding, it's not going to work. And what's going to happen is people are going to get frustrated, and even them, they're going to hit a brick wall. So don't be surprised. Their whole MO going to change to something else. They ain't going to be doing that. They going heavy on business credit now, but they're not going to fade out. You know, I've had this staple. You can look, if you're on my YouTube channel, and or if you are on Zoom and you want to take a, look at my YouTube channel, understand my foot has been in this industry for a long time. This ain't nothing new. I've been doing business credit videos since, I don't know, about 2018 or something like that. 2018. So I don't just know this industry, because like I tell people, you don't build business credit. You get access to funding, which can come in a form of credit, lines of credit, credit cards, lines of credit, term loans. It just depends. So you don't build it, you get access to it. So a lot of people out there are telling people business credit, build business credit. Then you have people, then they come to me and saying, Lorraine, how can I turn these gas cards that I have from Citgo and Texaco and no shade at coming, but these are the cards that they usually have, and turn it into cash. And like I always tell them, you pretty much can't. Like that ain't how that works. I know somebody sold you on that, but that's not how that works. So, I'm already 41 minutes in. So, that is what I wanted to talk about tonight, and going to be doing more topics on what I'm just, what I was talking about tonight, in terms of helping individuals understand how those two pair up. If you are that person who have raised a hand and said, hey, Lorelia, you know what, I want to learn more, about what you're doing this summer with that, small cohort of individuals who, want to get access to funding, relationships, and get themselves in position to execute, whether you want to do deals now or you just want to put something in place to do deals. Let's talk. Let's talk. For those who are on Zoom, that means that you are on my personal email communication list, and I will send out information on how you can move to the next step. If you are watching this on YouTube, and if you're watching this on the replay, underneath this video, you'll see a URL, www.helpmegetbizcredit. And that URL will take you to, will put you on my email communication list. And when you do see the information that will go out, you can execute. Understand it's based on an application basis. If your application gets approved, we'll have a conversation to make sure it is a good fit. Just so you know, it is not a free program. So no, that's why I said, if you're just looking for funding, this is not for you. You can go out on YouTube and find somebody, or you can go on a Google search and find someone. This is for people who want a little more, because those individuals that you've seen the testimonials of them getting 6 figures or more in funding, it's based on a framework and a process that I've created. And is made up of 3 parts. And I talked about it. It's a process, it's a strategy, and it's execution. It is a framework. It is not no secret lenders list, the credit scores that particular lenders use. It's not apply for an auto loan and don't get the car and it converts to a price. None of those tactics that may work or may not. This is based on a real framework to really get you funding. And I haven't had a client who hasn't got more than 65K or more in funding, So I think the last person I've worked with earlier this week, month in June, that person, their first wave of funding was 70K. And then after that, they got another surge of funding for about 60. So you figure that's about 130. So understand, that's really how that works. So so it is on an application basis. Like I said, there is a fee associated with it. I'm not going to be training people for free. I'm not going to be giving out my relationships for free, because these are real relationships. These are not, affiliate links that you just fill out and you pray that you get funding. These are relationships that I have where I negotiate on your behalf to be able to make sure you are taken care of and you are not being what I called economically castrated, because this industry is very grimy. I've seen people who have been put in MCA loans or merchant cash advance loans when they didn't even understand what it was. That's a whole nother topic for another day. I've seen people, I'm working with a client now, she got banged out with a whole bunch of inquiries and really didn't get no funding. So I've seen a lot of stuff, and so I know everything is not created equal. A lot of people have a lot of bark, but there's no bite. So just want people to know what it is that they will be getting into if they decide to apply. So no, it's not no free program. It's not no, let me just sit and give you out my resources for you to use. But if it sounds like something that you are interested in, let's have a talk. But once again, like I said, I'm getting close to the hour. Don't see any questions. But once again, this is Lorelia, and looking forward to talking to you in the next